One of the defining characteristics of high performance is that they take responsibility of their lives. They don't spend energy blaming circumstances, waiting for ideal conditions, or hoping someone else will change their future. Instead, they focus on the things they can control: their effort, their attitude, their preparation, and their response to challenges. This doesn't mean life is always fair. It means they refuse to let what they cannot control determine the direction of their lives. Another important difference is how they view failure. Most people see failure as evidence that they are incapable. High performance see it as information. Every mistake becomes feedback. Every setback becomes a lesson. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity to improve. They ask different questions. Instead of saying, "What did this happen to me?" they ask, "What can I learn from this experience?" That simply shifts the perspective, transforms failure from something to fear into something that accelerates growth. High performance also understand that motivation is unreliable. Many people wait until they feel inspired before taking action. The problem is that motivation comes and goes. It depends on mood, energy, emotions, and circumstances. Discipline, however, remains available regardless of how you feel. That's why successful people build routines instead of relying on inspiration. They create systems that make productive behavior automatic. They wake up and do the work because it has become part of who they are, not because they feel excited every morning. Their identity is stronger than their emotions. This brings us to one of the most powerful ideas in psychology. Identity shapes behavior. Every action you repeat sends a message to your brain about who you are. If you constantly exercise, your brain begins to identify you as someone who values health. If you read every day, you begin to see yourself as someone who learns continuously. If you consistently keep promises to yourself, you build self-trust. High performers understand that lasting change begins with identity rather than outcomes. Instead of saying, "I want to become successful," they ask, "What would a successful person do today?" Then they practice those behaviors consistently until they become natural. Another defining trait is delayed gratification. Modern life encourages instant rewards. We want immediate results, quick success, and constant validation. Social media often reinforces this expectation by highlighting achievements while hiding years of preparation. High performers think differently. They are willing to sacrifice today's comfort for tomorrow's opportunities. They understand that meaningful success often requires months or years of consistent effort before visible rewards appear. They remain committed because they trust the process, not because they receive constant proof that it's working. Patience is one of the most underrated qualities in success. Most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a week, but underestimate what they can achieve in 5 years of consistent effort. High performers understand the power of compound growth. Small improvement repeated every day eventually produce extraordinary results. Another psychological advantage is emotional control. The habits, mindset, and mental frameworks people develop play a much greater role in a long-term achievement than natural ability alone. Psychology shapes how they approach challenges, setback, learning, and personal growth. One of the defining characteristics of high performers is their belief that abilities can be developed through effort and learning. Instead of seeing intelligence or talent as fixed traits, they view them as skills that improve with deliberate practice. This perspective allows them to embrace difficult tasks because they understand that growth happens outside their comfort zone. Rather than avoiding failure, they see it as valuable feedback that reveals what needs improvement. Emotional intelligence also distinguishes successful individuals. High performers understand that emotions influence decisions, relationships, and performance. Rather than suppressing emotions, they learn to regulate them effectively. They remain calm under pressure, communicate clearly. These skills strengthen leaderships, teamwork, negotiation, and conflict resolution, making emotional intelligence just as valuable as technical expertise. In many professional settings, a commitment to lifelong learning in another defining characteristic. High performers understand that knowledge becomes outdated quickly, especially in rapidly changing industries. They continuously read books, attend courses, seek mentors, and remain curious about new ideas. More importantly, they apply what they learn. Knowledge without action creates little value, but consistent learning combined with practical implementation leads to continuous growth and innovation. High performers also recognize the importance of their environment. Success is rarely achieved in isolation. The people they spend time with influence their beliefs, behaviors, and expectations. By surrounding themselves with supportive, ambitious, and growth oriented individuals, they create a social environment that encourages excellence. Positive relationships provide accountability, constructive feedback, inspiration, and opportunities for collaboration. Another psychological principle that supports high performers is the ability to tolerate uncertainty. Many people postpone action until they feel completely prepared or certain of success. High performers understand that certainty rarely exists. They make informed decisions based on available information and adjust as they learn more. Progress often comes from taking imperfect action rather than waiting for perfect conditions. Perhaps the most important lesson is that success is not a single achievement but a continuous process of improvement. High performers rarely define themselves by one victory or one failure. Instead, they focus on becoming slightly better every day. Small improvements in thinking, habits, skills, and decision making accumulate over months and years, producing remarkable long term results. In conclusion, the psychology of success extends far beyond talent or intelligence. High performers cultivate growth oriented beliefs, embrace discipline, develop resilience, manage their emotions, focus on long term goals, and commit to lifelong learning. They understand that setbacks are part of progress and that consistent actions matter more than occasional bursts of motivation. Their greatest advantage is not that they avoid failure, but that they interpret challenges as opportunities to learn, adapt, and improve. By adopting these psychological principles, anyone can develop the mindset necessary to achieve meaningful and lasting success.